Shabbat Shalom. Now, I'm not an expert in social media, but I think I messed something up in my Instagram's algorithm. Because when I scroll through my reels on Instagram, these are like short videos in like 90 seconds. Videos from people, content creators, and just random people all over the world. Just put out videos and you can scroll through and see them. I used to, when I scrolled through my videos, get things about cute dogs and stuff about parenting toddlers and videos making fun of millennials, stuff I want to see. It's my stuff. But something happened on my Instagram algorithm. Something happened, and now I am inundated. Every other video it's been feeding me is about Israel, and it is not positive. I don't know what I clicked to make Instagram think that I want to see anti-Israel videos. I really don't know what I was clicking on because my feelings on Israel can, I think, be summed up as pro. And you do have for those who are not familiar with Instagram, you have the ability to click on any video, any reel you see and say, I don't want to see anything more like this, and you won't see any more videos like that. But I was curious what's being said, to millions of people who also have that particular platform, people my age and younger who are seeing this particular perspective of Israel. I was curious what everyone else is seeing, so I scrolled through these reels, and I scrolled, and I scrolled, and I kept scrolling and scrolling, and I couldn't stop. Something stood out to me I saw over and over again. And it's not the first time I've heard this particular viewpoint espoused, so this particular narrative about Israel. I've heard this since I was in college, during what they called Apartheid Week by our campus SJP chapter, which actually went on for 2 weeks now that I think about it. I don't think math was their strong suit. This narrative about Israel as a colonial state, a white colonial state, in fact, that Israel is a land occupied by white colonial settlers, white Europeans, who are not indigenous to the land, which is just factually, historically, and provably untrue. Now, I blame this narrative partly on the fact, and it's a narrative I've always chafed at, this idea that Israel was given to the Jews in 1948 by the UN as a sort of consolation prize for surviving the Holocaust. Kind of a way of saying, sorry the world allowed this genocide to happen against the Jewish people. Here, take half of this British land, we'll call it Israel. Now you have a safe place to go in case we don't stop this from happening ever again. Which, just the hubris of thinking that that's how it really went down. It's the hubris that gets me. To give something back to us that was always ours? This is a very common viewpoint. I was talking to a bar mitzvah student, 13-year-old kid, a couple years ago, who said to me, isn't Jews going to Israel like Columbus coming to America and saying, I found it when there were indigenous people there the whole time? And I was like, well, if Columbus himself was also indigenous, then I guess, but no, it's not like that at all. Because Jews, we, have always lived in the land of Israel. And you don't have to believe the Torah to think that's true. You want to believe the Torah, that's great, that's your prerogative, but you don't have to. And you know why? Here in America, when the British came, the settlers, to the East Coast, they didn't arrive, dig down, and find Shakespeare in the ground. When the Spanish came in Florida, in the southern parts of the United States, they didn't dig down and find Spanish coins. When the French settlers came, they didn't find ancient volumes of Dumas in their fur traps in the north, because they were colonizers, white European colonizers, who successfully eliminated the indigenous population right here in America. You know what they find in Israel when they dig down? They find coins with Israelite kings, pottery used in the first temple, Jerusalem, inscriptions written in Hebrew, a language we all still use today, a language that all the Jewish people, no matter where we are exiled to in this globe, never fully died out. It just adjusted like languages and people do, as we are shunted from one end of the globe to the other, forever the wandering Jew. Why do you think there exists Judeo-Yemenite Arabic, Judeo-Iraqi Arabic, Darija, Judeo-Moroccan Arabic, Ladino, Judeo-Spanish, Yiddish? They exist because we were exiled from our land where we spoke Hebrew, and there's archaeological proof of that too. Of that exile, when the Romans sieged Jerusalem, when they sacked our city in 70 CE, so the second time that happened, only 2,000 years ago, they made art to proclaim their triumph over the Jews. They etched carvings of defeated Jews and of their own carting off of identifiably Jewish relics like the temple's menorah into the Arch of Titus, so you don't even have to take our word for it. You can see the archaeological proof for yourself that we were there, and then we were sent into diaspora. Which, fun fact, the word diaspora, meaning an ethnic or religious population that is dispersed into different locations, the word diaspora comes from the Greek, meaning diaspero, meaning to kind of spread seeds, like you kind of seeds all over the place. It's the term that the Greeks in the Hellenic word created to refer to who? To refer to the Jews. When we were exiled after the fall of Jerusalem, the word diaspora was literally invented because of us. The Jewish people, verifiably, with literal archaeological proof, lived in the land of Israel thousands of years ago, before so many other world religions also claimed a piece of it. And the proof is in the ground, the coins, the household implements, the religious objects in use by our people when kings of Israel and benevolent occupiers ruled the land. So you see why the idea that Jews as occupiers of this land is laughable to me. I'm not saying that no one else can live there. I would never say that no one else can live there. And I don't think most Jews think that, and I hope not. But to say that Jews are occupying land that we were exiled from, that we spend every holiday praying to return to, that we've held on our language and our customs through thousands of years of constant exile and attempted extermination, and somehow we are the occupiers? As the kids like to say, the math is not mathing. Look, I get it. Throwing around buzzwords like white settler colonialism gets clicks and it gets views, and for the intellectually lazy, it seems like a sure thing. It's a swish, it's a dunk. But it defies verifiable historical proof. Because for one, we have never, ever, all of us left the land. And there's proof of that too. There have always been Jews in the land of Israel. My friend Shiri always found it laughable that somehow we left, because for her, a ninth generation Jerusalemite just was a mystery to her. And to say that we're all white settler colonialists is an erasure of the ethnic identity of the Jewish people. I get here in America, most Jews look like me, you know. The American Jewish population is mostly Ashkenazi, so you'd be forgiven for thinking the white settler colonial thing, but yes, we're of Eastern European descent, but I've done my 23andMe, and you know what it says? 99% Ashkenazi Jewish. And you know what the rest of it is? Like most Ashkenazi Jews who do their DNA testing, the rest of it is Middle Eastern. Greek Cypriot and Coptic Egyptian for me. Not because I'm Egyptian or because I'm Cypriot, but because, like all the other Ashkenazim, at our heart, at our root, we're a Middle Eastern people. And this is only to speak of Ashkenazim. What about the rest of the Jewish population? Remember all those other forms of Hebrew I mentioned, Judeo-Arabic and Ladino, just to name a few? After the exile of Jews from the destruction, the first temple by the Babylonians in the 6th century BC, the second temple by the Romans in 70 CE, after those events, we went everywhere. We went anywhere we could, if we were even given a chance, not just carted off into slavery. That's why there are populations of Jews in Yemen and Syria and Morocco, in India and Iran and Iraq, Tunisia, Egypt, Spain and Portugal, Central and South America, and the Caribbean too, Ethiopia, Uganda, as far as China. To whitewash the Jewish population down to all being white settler colonialists is, frankly, racist, an erasure of so many Jews. And to use that term inaccurately erases the history of the Jewish people from the land of Israel, our native land. Now, I can't yell at Instagram to fix their algorithm, and I can't yell at every content creator, every person out there making a video that's chock full of wrong information. What I can do is inform you, especially those of you my age and younger. I can tell you that we Jews are a small but mighty nation, exiled from our home, but always longing to be able to return. Don't let some TikToker or influencer or celebrity make you feel ashamed for being Jewish, erase our people's ethnicity with misinformation. If you didn't before, you know now. Whether you're a Jew by birth or by choice, never let others' ignorance of our history by accident or malice make you feel less than. You are a Jew. You have always been more than enough. And we deserve what all people do, the right to self-determination in a land that we have always had a right to live in. Shabbat Shalom.